I'm with Nate Moore, and Nate Moore was part of the men's national team for gymnastics.
Yep.
Amazing gymnast, parkour, stunt guy. He's done a lot. He's crazy. You guys should check him out sometime. Check out his reel. And I've been wanting to do this for a while because this guy has a really interesting story and a crazy, interesting life. You know what I mean? And it's just, he could go on for days about his stories.
Yeah.
And I think you should start off with just like how you got into gymnastics. Just start from the beginning. Just tell your life story, man. Honestly, you got like
how I got into gymnastics.
Yeah. How did you even get into it? How old were you?
I was young. Yeah. Like 2-ish when they did like baby classes.
Really? But so you started off as a baby, like.
But that was like an easy gym. It wasn't like a.
Yeah.
Like a gymnastics gym that was like walk you around a beam or something.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Dominique Moceanu. That's some crush gymnast girl I had on TV. Mm-hmm. She did the balance beam and I wanted to do gymnastics. That's literally why.
Really? How old were you?
Dude, like 6 or 7 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
And you just saw a girl at what, the Olympics?
Yeah, the Olympics or in trials or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She was a big deal.
She was a big deal.
Yeah.
So then you saw that, and then what, you told your parents, like, hey, I wanted to do this.
Yeah, here,
at 6 years old, you knew what you wanted to do.
Well, yeah.
That's crazy. At 6 years old, that's crazy, because a lot of people don't even know what they want to do, and they're like 20, 30.
Yeah, I don't think we got competitive until like 10, though. You know, you do baby classes.
Yeah, that's like 4 years. Like,
yeah.
Within 4 years. So then talk about the journey to the Olympics and all that. How did that go? Like,
I didn't go to the Olympics.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, the trials and everything.
I don't know. It was just like it's like a lot of training. Gymnasts have a life already out there. You know, you just train a bunch and you just go to school and then train some more. You have no life. Mm-hmm. That part of life is pretty like static. Yeah. Just a lot of training and crazy flips and meets.
While you were in middle school and
middle school, high school, and some college.
Mm-hmm. And while you were in high school doing that, do you feel like did you get to do other things, or are you just all about gymnastics?
It was mostly about gymnastics.
So you just kind of just went to school, did your homework, whatever,
and then trained.
Back to training.
Yeah, I mean it's like a lifestyle. So it's not like you're all training. You're with friends.
Yeah. Okay. And your friends are your like teammates.
Teammates.
Okay. So, yeah.
So you build that little world. It's like a tribe mentality.
So then, how old were you when you were on the men's national team?
I don't know, junior national stuff, like 16.
So it started when you were 16, really?
Yeah.
And then, like, did you expect to go that far in it? Like,
no, it was all by luck. It's like fitting in barely in these little situations. It was all random, dude. Like, some person drops out here, I got a chance because I was backup, and then boom, you get a little further because now you have something to prove. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like I had all those scenarios going up. I wasn't like the best gymnast by far because there's some pretty damn good people. Mm-hmm. But I had my little niche on P-bars and vault.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So talk about that story though. So then what happened? How did that happen? So you said someone dropped out, you got in, and that was when you were 16 on the junior nationals?
No, I think 18, I'm not too sure. Around there.
Later on.
Yeah.
Later on.
Yeah, so someone in Las Vegas is like, he can't make it, he got injured. Mm-hmm. Like, damn, that sucks for them, but I'm going in.
Yeah.
And then I got like third, so it's not like, on that one, when I got third, when you get like first 3, it's a big deal. So, because there's so many people going for it.
Mm-hmm. So they have medals, like gold, silver, bronze?
Yeah, there's the snowball medals.
You got bronze,
like,
right?
Top 8 is what you want to look for, because then that's what they bring to the next meet. To compete. So it's just about really getting top 8.
Yeah, so then they pick you. If you're in the top 8, they pick you for the next meet and the next meet. So then it's like, you guys are doing these meets, and me coming from a breaking background, to me it's like similar to like jams, right? So for us, it's like, there's big events, but there's also like weekly events going on all the time, and you just compete in all of them. Gymnastics has the same thing, right? There's events coming on all the time, and they just...
Yeah, we won't have like smaller events. We'll have like smaller meets in the beginning. We have seasons. Mm-hmm. Even though gymnastics is a year-round sport, its season is like the competitive part. So it's like you do baby meets, and then you progress to out of state, so you get comfortable competing.
Mm-hmm.
And then like let's say if you're higher level, you do international too.
Mm-hmm.
Test your abilities, and then you go for like I want to get on a team to compete in the Olympics or the Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you grind out like harder meets like the nationals,
mm-hmm.
the one specific.
And how do you get into that?
You have to like qualify with a certain score.
Qualify where at just a random meet,
yeah,
or
at
a specific meet?
A random meet that's sanctioned, so it has to be sanctioned by USAG. It's probably something different now because of all the scandals going on, but. So like they'll if you make a certain score, there's two ways to do it. You make a certain score in an event. We're an event specialist. That's what I did. So I was good at one event or or two.
Mm-hmm.
Or you make an all around score on all 6, and you're in like the top 8.
Yeah.
Or not top 8. I think it is. It's like top 8, top 12, or above a certain score in certain meets.
And then if you make it there, then you go to nationals.
Yeah, you qualify.
And you qualify for nationals. And if you kill it in nationals, then the next step is...
then it's like, we'll do like a Worlds. Worlds is what really goes on. But it'll be an international meet if you're a younger gymnast. Like, let's say there's a classic. They usually call them classics because it's like an original meet that's international. Like a Brazil Classic or something, or Mexico City has some competitions. But you'll go there, test your guts, see how you place, and then when the Olympic trials comes up and you've competed and topped, you want people to look at you. So if you keep doing these top 8s, and then you go to the Olympics, they're not going to necessarily pick first, second, third, fourth. They're going to pick who did the best throughout all these meets and what they've done.
So who's more consistent? Yeah,
they look at their resume. So first place necessarily doesn't get on the Olympic team. It's like
if you're first place once, it doesn't matter
more
than if you were like top 8
did,
20 times. That matters more.
Yeah, because then that means that you can hit your stuff, especially with like under a lot of pressure. So that's why you want to go to international stuff,
big events, world events. Okay,
but it's So really, I think Worlds has a little bigger crowd than the Olympics, gymnastic wise sometimes.
And Worlds is like annual, or there's multiple throughout the year?
It's annual.
So every year there's going to be a world's competition. So that's why, right? Because those matter really a lot, and the Olympics is like every 4 years. So when that comes around, it's like a big deal. But Worlds is still like the biggest thing you can win in gymnastics aside from Olympics. Do you think?
Well, Worlds is like sometimes there's a couple political plays people will do. They won't send their best gymnasts to Worlds. But most of the time, all the best gymnasts are at Worlds. And so pretty much just like a pretty tall tale sign of what they're going to do.
Why do they do that, though?
World stage.
Why don't they bring their best?
Because, like, China wanted to win that year. They were hosting the Olympics.
They wanted to win the Olympics, so they didn't bring them to the Worlds.
Yeah, they held their, like, super top guys or whatever.
Why? Because they don't want them to get injured, or they just don't want you to know what they have?
A little bit of both, probably. I don't know. That's their strategy. You're not going to know. It's their coaches.
Do you think that works?
Dude, it worked. They got, like, I think that year either they won or they got second or something. I know the year after, Korea blew everybody away. Gymnastics took a whole new level.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to compete anymore. No way.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you mean compared to where it's at right now?
Yeah, it's so wild, man.
Yeah, the level is just getting crazy. It's human potential, man. Like, every day I'm seeing on YouTube and the internet, there's always some crazy shit going on. People are just pushing the boundaries, and that's really why I respect gymnasts a lot, too. Because they are, like, really, you guys push the limits of like the human body so much, and to me, you guys are really, you guys found a process, like a system of how to train the body the right way.
It's very corporate, I guess, if it's a good way to put it for your body.
Yeah,
you kind of want to be that way for your body.
Yeah, and I feel like breaking is completely opposite because it's more like figure it out. You know, you're always trying to make up new moves. So then sometimes you might be trying something that no one's ever done before, and you might not even know the right or wrong way to do it yet. So you're risking like hurting yourself in a lot of ways. And then say you finally do create this new move, you still don't know the right system to get it and teach it to someone properly, or you guys will have like, okay, you got to get, you got to start doing this conditioning first, do your 10 jump squats, do all this.
Yeah,
now start, and it's like, it just leads up to this big move, and you guys are really well prepared to build the right muscle and conditioning for it. And breaking is more like, just go, you know how many times I've been told that, like, by people, like, when I ask for help and advice, hey, can you, like, show me how to do this, just do it, like, just, all right, you're gonna do like this, and then boom, they do the whole move, and I'm like, that's the move, like, didn't help me at all. What I gotta do before that, you know what I mean?
Like, the fundamentals of it, well, gymnastics is very that way, but there's also, like, limitation to now what gymnastics is, because its creativity kind of is limited. It's really hard to get a new skill in. And some of the weird new skills that were made kind of have, like, been, like, just deleted. Because I've seen some creative stuff, but since injuries or stuff like that, they try to keep it as safe as possible. So it's like, every move you see in gymnastics really is a breakdown of, like, one of the simple basics. They just add it. So, you know, backflip, back with the full twist. Now back with 2 full twists.
Yeah, it's just like breaking too. Like an air flare, and now people are doing, like, you know, one-handed air flare, diamond air flares, tombstone air flares, and then now people are trying double air flares.
Yeah,
so shit like that. Yeah,
the injuries might start happening, but they.
Now people get fucked up.
Yeah, dude. And Red Bull's having the Olympics, so I wonder. I wonder what kind of limitations. Like, I know breakdancers won't follow it. They don't necessarily have to go to the Olympics. It already has its own community.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Kind of different.
I mean, if they do go, I feel like if they do go with the Olympic route, then whatever rules are applied to them in the Olympic route, that's it. That's cool, whatever. It's not going to stop us from being creative or doing what we usually do in just big breaking events.
Because the Olympics, I don't know if it's going to be the crowd's going to be judging as much to influence the judges, or if it's going to be like quiet sessions. And, like, you just have the judges going, yeah, I think this guy did good. Because the crowd's totally part of breakdancing.
Yeah, it definitely plays a big role. Like, so, I mean, I think a really good judge can ignore the crowd on certain situations. I'm not saying, like, because the crowd does matter. If someone's killing it and you hear the crowd's going crazy and you're like, they blew it up, they killed it. But then maybe that person killed it and the crowd's going crazy, but the crowd doesn't know too much about breaking, and maybe that guy repeated. And maybe that guy did a move that's not his. And you know what I mean? Like, he's doing all these things that the judges are like, okay, wait, he did that 2 rounds ago, and that move wasn't really his move, and so it's a crazy move, and it was dynamic, and he hit the music, but it wasn't like, there's a lot of things that went right. Where this guy was mad original, he did something different every round. So it's like, don't listen to the crowd sometimes, but most of the time the crowd's usually right, like usually.
Well, yeah, because there are some pretty kick-ass original moves going like, oh shit, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
But one other thing, think about what the judges are going to have to judge on in the Olympics. They can't be like, oh, this guy's stolen someone's move before, because you're going to probably have, like, there's a set of really high-end moves that people really get down, and they're top tier, and they're going to be repeated by people. It's going to be like, I wonder.
Yeah, but I think for breaking it has to be different, because that's the essence of breaking. It's about originality, and if we have breaking judges, they're always gonna judge that in the back of their head. See, the thing is, no matter what, you can never get it past the fact that a human is gonna have to vote and make the decision, even if they have a point system, even if they have like a pointing system, however they decide to create the judging system. A human is going to have to press the button or do this no matter what. Even in the Olympics, it's humans that are giving the scores. So the judge is still a human being. And they still have their own bias. They're still going to pick the person that either they know personally, or they like better, or the style that they like better. Well, and that goes for gymnastics as well, and breaking. I feel like politics plays a big role and things like that.
It does. Well, it was a huge controversy in, like, when gymnastics introduced playback.
What's that?
So just like in a football field, you could play
replays.
Replays, when they introduced replays for the judges, that was like a huge, like...
So they could just replay and watch the skills. I think... See, that's the thing. It might be a good or a bad thing, because in breaking, there's a lot of, like, battles, right? And in the moment, the judges will feel some kind of way in the moment. And I've been to events, I've been to gyms where this happened, right? Where when you're there at the event and 2 guys battle in the finals, and one guy does really, really well, but the other guy has like a moment. But that moment steals all the shine from this guy, and then you get blinded and you think, this guy won, You watch it later on YouTube, or you watch it later and you actually break it down, you're like, he didn't win that battle, actually. It was just that one moment that kind of blinded you, but if you really don't pay attention to that, look at the whole battle, the guy actually lost, you know? And I feel like, you know, like that, yeah, that's the kind of thing that, like, that can, you know, really sway people with the replay. Because if the judges watch the battle again, they might be like, oh, wait, I thought he won, but nah, actually.
Well, because, yeah, you got to think about when they're judging vault, it's run down the vault runway, hit a springboard, do a bunch of flips within split second, maybe 1 second, depending on the air time. And now they have to name the skill, find its value, because this is how specific it is with numbers and shit, which I don't know if they'll get that way with breakdancing, but these are all rules because gymnastics entered the Olympics. Gymnastics was like breakdancing.
It was just like a free kind of sport, just do crazy shit,
and
right?
This is what happens when it gets
But I think they're gonna try and do a point system just because I feel like the reason why they would want a point or some kind of system like that is to help normal people understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why. It's always about the audience. If we can't get the bigger general audience to understand.
What kind of point system would?
Because they had a system before. It was called the Hour System by Dizzy. So shout out to Dizzy because he has his own vlogs and stuff too. He's a b-boy vlogger on YouTube.
Little Dizzy.
And Dizzy is from Canada, Supernatural's crew, and he's like, you know, he went to Korea, was staying out there for a minute, and Korea at the time was like, I believe that they were funded by their government for breaking. So breaking was really a big deal in Korea.
It's huge, right? They
had
the best teams.
They had. You know, I think recently they stopped funding it, and the breaking scene I heard recently is starting to like go down a little bit just because it's not as funded anymore. But Dizzy was there, and over there he created this system of judging. And they tried it out a few years, but then when all that fell apart, then he stopped throwing R16, he stopped having the judging system. But what they would do is they would have like 5 points system in different categories. So you would have like originality, musicality, dynamics, like foundation, and like battle, which was like, I guess, I don't know, I didn't really understand the battle thing, like I guess presence, attitude, burns, some stuff like that. Maybe response, like being able to conversate with someone. So if you battle somebody and they do swipe air flare, then you do swipe air flare 90. You know, you try and top it. I guess that would go in the battle category, right? So anyways, all these 5 categories, you could get up to 5 points in each, and each category is only judged by one person.
Yeah,
right? So then at the end of the battle, you add up all the points, and whoever has the most points wins the battle. Which was really controversial because there'd be some battles where the guy that won the battle got less points. You know what I mean? It was weird, you know? It just was weird that way. There was also another year where Born judged, and Born is like a b-boy from Korea. He's like a foundation style b-boy. And I think he judged foundation or musicality, one of them. And he gave everybody almost the whole night 3s. The whole time, he just gave almost everybody a 3 or a 2. Like, he didn't give no one a 5 or a 4. Like, maybe rarely. A lot of people got 3s and shit like that. It's just like, and it's just because it's a human bias still. Like, no matter what, even if you have this whole point system, one of those judges could be just a horrible judge and just giving people bad points. And maybe you got this guy, you know, let's see if names, for example, Pocket and Rocks, right? Whatever, right? And the judge likes this guy more. Doesn't like this guy. He only gets to judge one category, but for his category, he likes this guy. Oh, I'm gonna give him a 5.
Yeah.
You still can put bias. So no matter how bad you try to get the most accurate measurement or the most accurate right winner, right? No matter how hard you try, it's always at the end of the day gonna come down to a person and their opinion. Like, at the end of the day,
see what happens with playback is now it's gonna be like. They can rewatch it and then rejudge it and second guess.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, maybe that might work. Maybe you might get the best person. You know, you might actually get because you watch it again and be like, "Nah, I was wrong. I think the other guy did."
I think playback should only be used if, because every b-boy has a team, or they're going to have a team when they go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
They're going to have like a sponsor or a coach or something because a lot of b-boys, you know, it's not a really well-funded sport.
Not yet, yeah.
And it's just now it's just
starting. It's still beginning. Yeah.
So there's going to be coaches and teams eventually, but I think teams can be like, when they get a score, they call a foul and see what was like judged wrong or why.
Oh, they try to go against it.
That's the only time they're allowed to use playback to challenge.
Kind of like in football.
Yeah.
Almost exactly like in football.
Because I bet you football had playback before challenges, and they're like, whoa, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Only when the team challenges or something like they can watch playback.
Yeah.
To specifically like correct a score that people saw in the moment.
They don't do that in gymnastics?
No, man. Well, they do, but like when they challenge it, I'm pretty sure they watch the whole routine again and rejudge the thing rather than like, because there was a controversy where, see, there's so many limitations to gymnastics and rules. You're only, in my time, I think it's changed now already again, but you were only allowed 2 hold handstands on P-bars. Everything had to be moving.
Tell everyone what time frame were you competing, so they know.
So this was like 2006, because it was in the Olympics when this happened.
Okay, so around 2000. So what years were you competing though?
So that was the height of my years right there, 2006.
2006. So
yeah,
from when to 2006?
Let's see, like competitive gymnastics. Probably like, because I was 10, so that'd be 97 to 2006 was like competitive. Parkour.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
So you were actually competing like crazy since you were 10?
Yeah, since I was 10. Because I didn't do competitive till 10.
But when you're 10, you're going against people like minors. You're going against younger.
Yeah, so there'll be age groups like 10 to 12, 13 to 14, and then 16.
And you just competed your whole life through all the age groups, all the way up until you got to like the master, like adults, like open
and
age.
And I was in the older division because there's 8-year-olds competing in the same level as me, and those are generally like. Because I was good, but those guys are generally Olympians because they got like 2 years. Some of them are really good. They have a case of burnout or succeed really well. And so...
Yeah. But you were saying about the P-bars and the way the old judging system was.
2006. Yep. 2 handstands in a row. Like, so you're only allowed 2 handstands. Hold. That's like 2-second hold. So this guy did 3 handstands. That was Paul Hahn. He's U.S.
Yeah, Paul Hahn is the one who brought air flares into gymnastics.
And
so shout out to that guy.
And it was like the last event, and he was barely ahead of second place, which I think was Korea. I'm not too sure. It could have been someone else, but they the Korean team challenged it because they saw he held 3 handstands in his routine rather than 2, and that would be like a 3/10 deduction, and that was the difference between first place in the Olympics and second.
Really?
And
so they barely won because of that.
But they challenged it.
They challenged it. That's
crazy. But they challenged it since we get to watch full playback. They rejudged the routine, and he ended up with like an extra 10th plus that deduction, so he actually won by a 10th or something, and he still got it.
Really? Because they watched the routine and he actually had something more that they didn't see, they didn't notice.
So it
helped him in that case.
Yeah.
It helped him instead of the
barely.
other team.
It was like, oh shit.
So it actually backfired for them.
But see, that's the kind of controversy. But look how then it puts those countries together, and the Olympics are caught in a bunch of shit. So that's the problem with doing playbacks and full routines, is you're going to cause a lot of
I mean, honestly, in a battle, if the judges get to watch the whole battle again, like, it's kind of, that's why it kind of makes sense sometimes to judge in the moment, because you're going off the feeling right away and what you notice. But thing is, it's like, we're all human, they're not perfect, they're not going to notice and see everything.
Yeah.
Even though, like, really good judges who judge a lot, they have a really good eye, they'll see details like Reveal, for example, the guy that I spent a lot of time practicing with when I was like, still beginning and breaking. He judges all over the place, right?
Yeah.
When I watch battles with him, we'll be like at a jam, watching the same guy get down, but he'll notice like a little detail that I didn't see, And he'll be like, you didn't see that? What are you talking about? And we're winding. I'm like, oh shit, damn, I didn't even notice he did that. Like, because he has such a good eye, and he's been watching breaking for so long, for so many years. You know what I mean? And I think that, not every judge will be that experienced. Maybe they need that extra replay.
I think that the replay with the challenge on a specific part would be better because it puts the judges in check. So think about this. They call the judge on a mistake on that specific part. So they're only allowed to show that mistake, and that makes sure the judges the next time are trying to be very accurate and learning the rules and shit. so they don't get called out, and playback doesn't get called.
Yeah.
So then I think that's more checks and balances than going like, oh, now we got this clusterfuck of a controversy or something.
Yeah, but I feel like it's inevitable. Controversy's always there's always gonna be some controversy.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I want to see the first breakdancer who goes on steroids because he won't be able to do anything.
Bro, I was
like,
probably honestly, there's probably already some b-boys on steroids. It's never. There's no regulation in breaking. There's nothing. It's just you just enter, you just show up and go. There's no blood test. There's nothing like that. It's not. It's a local event. It's a hip hop event, dance event. There's no steroid checking. Nothing like that. I'm sure there's few b-boys that are probably on steroids, right?
Yeah.
There's some monsters out there. There's some b-boys that are just like, just
pumping up,
ripped, and they do crazy, strong, powerful moves.
Dude.
Like I would say more on the power move side of things than than the forward guys. Definitely, like there's some power head guys, and I'm like, dang, these guys are pretty D's. But not having flexibility.
It's a huge factor.
It fucks you up in breaking because you need to be. But I'm sure it does in gymnastics too. The gymnasts are like their form. You guys' form is so like flexible.
Yeah, it's well. I mean,
and there's gymnasts that have done steroids before too, right?
Oh yeah, they'll get caught.
But is there gymnasts that have done steroids that were successful, that were like winning a lot, and then they got caught?
It was probably before my day because we were pretty locked down with the.
But actually, I did hear that there was a Russia team that got caught.
I think
because they froze their. I think I heard about this recently.
Froze their blood.
They froze their blood or pee or something, and then they tested it 10 years, like recently when they got better technology on testing for steroids and stuff. And just recently, the team from like 10 years ago or something got caught when they did the test like this year, a few years ago, and they took steroids, like the Russian team that won. You know
what? I bet you that. Yeah, it probably happened like when I was young, Paul Hamm's era. There's a lot of weird things.
Where's Paul Hamm from?
Dude, I don't know, like Missouri or maybe.
Oh, he's from U.S.
He's from U.S. He has a.
And what year is he?
Morgan Hamm. Well, he went Olympics. Paul Hamm's a better one. He went Olympics 2006, 2000.
Okay.
10. So was it 2006, 10, or was it? Maybe I got it completely wrong. It's 04, 08, and then my best year was like 03. I don't know.
Yeah, because around that time, that's like air flares were created, multiple air flares like in the 98, 2000s, and then later in the 2000s, like that year, around that time, 2006, people were doing all kinds of crazy air flare tricks. Like,
so it must have been like 2004. And so, because Summer Olympics are on the 4s, and winters are on the like 2, 6. Yeah. In that area, I think.
It was just you have to have that move at that time, especially. I mean, now too, but there's guys that win big events, entire events, without even throwing an air flare, because it's like they're just so creative. They have their own style. But at that time, I know it was like a priority. Like everyone wanted to get there. Yeah, everyone needed to have it, and and I guess Ham practiced with some b-boys, saw it, and he was just like,
dude, I'm
gonna do that shit.
Perfect straddle. There was no like hip movement.
It's the gymnast form, So he like took the b-boy air flare and added the gymnast form to it to make it look good for gymnastics. Yeah, but there is some b-boys that have beautiful air flares, like Marcio.
I mean, like when like we say good form is a pointed toe, I think a perfectly flexed foot is the same thing. It's just like a different shape. Yeah, like it still looks.
As long as the knees are straight and the legs are open, I think that, to me that's a good form. Whether you do this or this, that's your choice. But I think if this is bent, like this kind of form, looks like it's kind of ugly. Yeah, like it's all bent. Like that looks ugly when you're boom and you just have that strong look. To me, it's beautiful. Yeah,
and I like that a lot better. So I mean, because that's the way it be.
Yeah, so that's crazy. So you were just. Let's talk about that more, though. So you were how old when Ham was killing it?
Dude, I was like 16 or 17. I was right in his age. He was 18.
Okay, so he was a couple years older than you. And when you saw him first do air flares, what did you think? What did you think when you first saw it? Was it a big deal? Did they even talk about it?
Well, we knew because we watched breakdancing. Like we only watched breakdancing highlights in gymnastics.
How did you even see that footage though? Because at that time there was no YouTube.
No YouTube because all my stuff is not.
It's all VHS tapes.
It's all on VHS.
Yeah.
I'm not. We saw it through there's there was video platforms at the time, or MySpace stuff with links to videos. You don't get to put it on MySpace or whatever. Or something like that to websites or anything.
But that shit was slow too. Like,
but dude,
internet back then had to have been dial-up. We had dial-up I had dial-up till like 2010, 11, bro. I had it for so long. I was so late.
I remember like to look up the Google videos, you had to go through like this extra menu. It wasn't so easy. And I think they also looked it up there. But I remember seeing air flares. You know, there's this weird, crazy coffee grinder like move that I've always wanted to do, but I barely remember it now. But it was dope. It was like this weird twist. Like, we would watch it for corner on floor inspiration, because every gymnast, after they go do a corner pass on floor, they would have to do like a diagonal pass on floor. They'd have to do a corner transition. They can't just like step and turn.
Yeah.
So we'd have to think of
some kind of creative. So that's kind of like your guys' only chance to really get a little bit creative.
So that's why that's why I got a B twist. It was in my routine. I could do it in straight legs at the time. And like, I'd go B twist to the corner, spin on out, side pass, double front or something like that.
Yeah. I'm curious what videos you watched. Cause
dude, they were
at that time, old. 2005 you said? Or 2000?
When we started watching those, dude, it was even a little earlier, because it was like...
Damn,
like
that's...
1990, because we were doing like Juno, dial-up shit.
You must have been, in the 90s, you must have been watching when Freestyle Session was like really blowing up, and
it was
Battle of the Year, like those events, because around that time in the 90s, like breaking, and especially in America, was like being resurrected. It's coming back, really, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of events, like the biggest events right now, like all over the world, the ones that we go to, the ones that they were like they were starting at that time.
I think like also because when you're traveling and you have a buddy who like buys DVDs or something on stores, there's breakdancing videos, you know, just like old martial arts videos of how to by like people who kind of gotten famous in their small worlds. So I think we've seen some of those too, or like someone's interview on a breakdancing.
Yeah. So, but pretty much by that time you had already seen the air flare, and then you saw him do it.
Yeah. Well, their air flare looked really dirty. It looked like a baby in the air.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Legs were bent, because the form, especially at that time, was very raw. Like b-boys were just really just throwing themselves and catching. Like it was no. You know, the whip
twist.
Like they didn't understand the full form. It was created out of a swipe. Like really came from an air swipe. You know what an air swipe is?
Yeah, I do.
So like it kind of came from that. Like it was like when you watch the video of Pablo doing it, he does like an air swipe, and then he does an air swipe without his legs. Like he misses the floor with his legs and keeps going and catches it. You know, you see him try it a couple times. You ever seen that video?
No, I have not seen that video.
I'll show you the video of him really creating it. Just real quick, I'll show you that.
No, it's alright. We can do like an intermission. You find the video, I'll get something else to drink. And
go ahead, get a drink, and I'll find the video real quick. But it's good little history, so you see where it came from. Because at that time, people were already done air flares, but not continuous multiple air flares.
Right. So that was like the first what?
Yeah, and people were really like going crazy off of it. So it's just interesting to know like the clash of like gymnastics and breaking. Because breaking when it was a young dance was just taking from everything, you know, and adding it to breaking, like kung fu, flips, gymnastics, other dances, James Brown dance, like it didn't matter, you know. This is the video right here.
All right. I'll do this and then we'll do it because I also have something to say to that.
Yeah, for sure. Just save your thoughts. So yeah, breaking is gonna be in the Olympics soon, or it's going through this process right now. This is an interesting time for the breaking community. Very interesting because, I mean, whatever's going on right now, it could be so historical. And just thinking about where breaking started and how far it's come. If it makes it to the Olympics, it's like these guys that started in the Bronx that created this gritty, like tough, you know, very, I don't know how to say it, hard dance, you know, and they didn't know that they were creating something that would later on become an Olympic sport. It's crazy to think of that. To think that someone right now, that there's a possibility or a chance someone right now is sitting in a slum somewhere where they have nothing and they feel like helpless, that they like we're saying, we're talking about
I'll give that one like a 1.
The 2020 Olympics.
And the coronavirus.
Yeah, because they might cancel the Olympics because of the coronavirus. So right now it's 2020 and the coronavirus is a big deal this year. It started in China, like I think late December or something, and then throughout this year it's been spreading, and I guess there's, I don't know how many cases around the world. 200 alone in Washington, you said?
Well, it was not Washington, it was New York. It was wrong.
200 in New York? Yeah, once it hit New York, I knew it was going to spread like wildfire.
There was a video of this lady running up, and she was Chinese.
Yeah, and then,
right?
Yeah, and she's getting attacked. She's getting attacked because she's Chinese and she's wearing a mask, and people are calling her like disease bitch and crazy shit like that. So people are acting really, really crazy right now about this whole situation, and I don't know where this is gonna go and how serious it's gonna be. I'm actually going to Asia this year for a breaking tour, which we planned way ahead of time. And then this whole coronavirus thing started, and it started in China, but now it's really, really big in Italy. China's shut down. No one's allowed. No flights are allowed in or out. People aren't allowed to go in or out. Italy's shut down now too. No flights in or out. Japan is like very, very restricted, limited. It's like one of the biggest hit, and South Korea. So Japan, Italy, South Korea, and Japan are like the biggest ones, I think, that have like the most serious situation. I think.
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean, there's a case here, just maybe.
Yeah, and then just recently here. They said there's a case here.
I mean, dude, it's gonna get bigger because if there's one case, that's 14 days incubation.
Yeah, so that's what I mean, and that's what makes it worse is if a case pops up, the incubation period is two weeks. So in that time, the person could have had it the whole time and spread it all over, and then they discover it, and then by that time, someone else has it, and so it's just big old chaos. And we don't even know where this is going. People are afraid. They're stocking up on water and buying all these masks. And New Orleans just, we're in New Orleans right now. New Orleans just issued their first case, and they're talking about it. Apparently the person doesn't travel a lot, so I don't know how they must have got.
Yeah, so if they don't travel a lot, it's 14-day incubation period. And
they got it somehow.
That means it was Mardi Gras.
And Mardi Gras was 2 weeks ago. And Mardi Gras is like one of the biggest festivals in the entire planet. Yeah, people from all over the world are here. It's like hundreds of thousands of people are in town for that. And
so that how many people have actually got infected?
Yeah, and then it just left. It spread all over. And my personal opinion, like what I think it's way bigger than what they're saying. There's a chance. I feel like it is though, because New Orleans is a big tourist city. A lot of their economy is based on tourism, and they actually have a big parade coming up soon. And the mayor addresses it in her speech.
Little speech.
Yeah, about the Irish festival or what is it? St. Patty's Day parade, and she says she's not going to cancel it. I think it all makes sense because it's all about tourism here. If they find out, New Orleans is infected and people are getting it out there, imagine how many people are going to stop showing up to New Orleans and how much money the city's going to lose, and the people and the businesses, and everyone out here is like hustling. There's a lot of hustlers out here. They make money off the tourists, off the tips, off of performing and doing street shows and things like that. And if there's no tourists, no parades, no activity going on here, then those people are going to have to make money a different way. And I feel like that would lead to a lot of crime. Yeah, and a drop in the economy, and I think it could get really ugly over here, but not just here, everywhere. But especially here because New Orleans is a big tourist city. Like their economy is based off tourism, for sure.
So, big time.
Yeah. So I think they're trying their best to not make people panic and not push tourists away from this area. they want tourists to keep coming, so of course they're gonna make it seem like it's not serious, it's not as big of a deal. But I think it could be bigger than what we expect or what we know right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I wonder how that will. I actually do wonder how it will affect the movie industry.
It's affecting everything right now, right? Everything's getting canceled.
Shut down movies. Shut down.
Big events are getting
NBA,
canceled.
yeah.
The NBA, you said that they're considering not letting people in the arena. So it's just gonna be the teams playing against each other. Disneyland. A lot of the Disneylands around the world are closed down. Disney's losing a lot of money. A lot of the events that I had planned on going to this year are getting canceled. I had a flight to Japan. It got canceled, and I'm getting a refund for that. Like, they're refunding me. And yeah, it's just, I mean, the coronavirus itself, based off of what I know, it's not extremely deadly. Not as deadly as Ebola. Yeah. At least as far as what they know. So far, I think there's like a 10% death rate right now. Yeah,
but then that's mostly older and younger.
Yeah, old people, young people. Just like the flu, old people, young people are going to die first. So I don't think the coronavirus is very, very, dangerous as dangerous as Ebola, but it's just people don't want to get it, and there's no vaccine yet. There's no cure or vaccine. So when they come up with a cure or vaccine, I don't think anyone's going to care anymore. But until then, I think this whole panic is going to get crazy for something that's not as dangerous or deadly as previous viruses.
Yeah, the only thing that makes this deadly is how quick it spreads because the incubation period.
Spreads quick. I think we looked it up, and it says it can be on surfaces for up to 2 days.
Yeah.
It's transferable between animals and humans, which also makes it dangerous. So it's easy to catch, I think. And they say the best, which is the simplest way to not catch it, is just wash your hands all the time and don't touch your face.
Don't touch your face.
But
everyone touches their face.
Yeah, you get an itch and you touch your face. You know when you eat, sometimes you wipe your mouth.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I already touched my face in this video.
but I wash my hands just right now, unless it's in here already.
This guy's this might be my last video. He might have just given it to me. He works on bourbon.
I do work on bourbon, and I see thousands of people, every show, and I might do 3 or 4 shows a day, most 6 shows a day. Yeah. So I'm seeing at least 6,000 people a day, at least. So, yeah.
Jeez.
And then we handle the money, the tips that we get. Yeah. So, and who knows, but that money came from this person who came from this person.
Start getting a bucket of bleach and just
we do spray Lysol when we collect the money, though. But yeah, it's getting pretty serious out here. So
it seems like it's going to affect a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, countries are getting shut down little by little, and I mean, there's only the way I see it is, could go 2 ways. Either it blows over and they find a vaccine or something, or they accept hey, it's not as deadly as we think, and it's just going to be another annual disease like the flu and the common cold. Yeah. Okay, could be that. Or, it gets real serious, they don't find a vaccine or anything, and the world is going to be on some serious apocalypse lockdown shit.
Yeah, it already is starting to, which is nuts.
And that I think that would be the case if it's deadlier than what they're saying. So if more people have died than what they're actually saying, it's actually more deadly than what they're saying. And the way they're treating it, I feel like it is, because the way they're acting, the way people are acting. Yeah, especially the government in China. You said you saw videos of them just pulling people out of their homes.
Yeah, dude, just ripping them out.
And he's saying that people who aren't even infected, so they just if you cough, they check you for a fever, and if you cough, they don't even check if you actually have the coronavirus.
Yeah,
they just pull you out of your, out of your home and just take you and put you with a bunch of people who actually have the virus, and of course you're gonna catch it that way. So it's it's kind of,
it's messed up.
Yeah.
It's purging whatever. I don't know. It's crazy. Like, that's what the movie Purge should be. Not just everyone, like, one night killing each other. It's like purging anything that you think is associated with this one.
And the thing is, it's kind of like a modern day witch hunt.
Mm-hmm.
You know how like the Salem witch trials, they just accuse people of being a witch. Now, now we could just accuse people of having the coronavirus, and then that's it. Like, you're gonna be
happened in New York,
burned at the stake.
Nuts.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lady who was just running through the subway, getting chased, and people started attacking her because they thought she had the virus, which is weird. Like, if I thought someone had a disease, I wouldn't attack them. I'd stay the fuck away from them.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but people are going crazy out there, so I don't know what's gonna happen. We're from this point on right now. What's today? March 10th, 2020. But who knows where this will be by the end of the year? And I'm gonna be in Asia, and I don't know what's gonna happen while I'm out there. But
yeah. He's not. I told him he has a 6-month waiting period before he comes back to here.
Yeah, unless it's crazy here, then
unless he already just killed me.
I might not even be able to come back. It might be like quarantined here. Like,
yeah, or on a boat, or quarantined on a plane. How sucky would that be?
How would that even work?
They just don't let you off
at
the
airport and the airline. Oh, that'd be so.
They're doing it on a cruise right now. They're bringing them food. They're not allowed to leave their room.
Did that already happen, or
no? It's
that's still
happening
going on
right now.
now?
Yeah, they're still just sitting outside of California.
Really?
Like 30, I don't know what it was, whatever 30 something on sea, out to sea or something.
Really?
30 miles.
And they're just sending them food, so they ran out of food already?
Well, I mean, I would assume they don't have food for 2 weeks. More than the 2 weeks they already.
Also, they're there for the 2-week incubation period until.
Well, they haven't even told them how long they're there for, but I'm assuming that's what they're 2 weeks.
And they're gonna test them and see who's showing symptoms and things like that. But that's the thing. Like, what if you're on that boat and you aren't infected?
And you're just a carrier?
No, you just aren't infected. You just didn't get anything, and then you're around all these people who are on the boat with you the whole time, and they actually are infected. Eventually, you're gonna get infected because you're around them the whole time. So that sucks. You're quarantined with a bunch of people. What if there's only 2 people on that boat that were actually infected the whole time, and now they got everyone sick? Yeah. Then there's also like a video I saw of like some girl. She was talking to the camera, and she had coronavirus and she didn't even know. So she didn't show any symptoms and she didn't get sick, but she was a carrier of the coronavirus. So that's a possibility too.
Oh man.
But that's what I mean. She's not dead. She's not like a zombie or anything. She's alive. She looks healthy. They just I think it can be pretty dangerous for old people and young people. But
yeah,
like if she's okay, I mean that means that people survive it. It's just, I guess, to me, I think that's the scariest part. If it's not as deadly as they say, and it's not as serious, then I think that's the scariest part, is just being quarantined. Not really catching it. Especially if you're a young person, pretty healthy, I think you have a good chance of surviving it, and just, your immune system fights it off fine, and then you're fine. But once you have it, then you're going to get stuck wherever you are. So if you catch the coronavirus and they quarantine you, now you have to be stuck there, and that's going to be the scary part. Now you can't come back home, and who knows how long that will be, how long that's going to last, how long all this is going to last. This could blow over by the end of the year, or this could keep going for a while. We don't know.
Yeah, right now it's on fire, so
yeah,
it's been like a couple months.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of ways to find out.
They're in the process of making a vaccine, right? But
yeah, well, they got 3 here in Louisiana for testing.
Right, 3 monkeys or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And now they have an actual person who has it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was confirmed that there was 1 case.
Well, they're confirming it right now.
So it's speculation.
Yeah. So I wonder.
But I don't see how it couldn't be here, because it's a huge tourist city, and Mardi Gras just passed. So many people, thousands of people from all over were here, and for example, for sure, Texas and Florida, and there's people in Texas and Florida that have the disease. Like, it's in Texas and Florida already. How can it be in Texas and Florida and not here when people from Texas and Florida come here all the time? It's definitely here. That's the way I see it.
I'd be more scared of the airports than anything.
They said the airports are the big one, because that's where a lot of people are going in and out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of big airports are getting it for sure, like LAX and things like that. Like it's gonna be there for sure. I'm going to be going through there. With a can of Lysol, some gloves, a mask. Yeah, because...
Well, they said face masks are sold out, so pick one on the way out.
Just get like a bandana or a shirt or something.
I'm going to go live in a small town for next year.
Like, just put like, you know, something with my face and just rock it like that. A ski mask.
Yes.
But, yeah, I'm going to have to fly out of LAX to Singapore. So I have to go to LAX no matter what. And then I know I feel like no matter what, the virus is going to be there unless you're going to South America. The virus is in Singapore, that they say they contained it. The virus is in Thailand. They say supposedly they contained it too. A lot of the governments I feel like are bullshitting though, because like Philippines government said they contained it, or it wouldn't survive in their environment because it's hot. But I read about it and they said that might not be true. But from what I know about, you know, diseases, it spreads easier in the heat than it does in the cold.
Yeah,
like the cold. That's why hospitals are at a certain temperature. They're not hot. You go to hospitals, they're not really warm.
They definitely want to keep the temperature down there.
Yeah, because it's supposed to slow down the movement or something like that. So I don't know. I don't think a hot, humid area would not help spread the disease. But then they're trying to compare it to the flu and the cold, which is a winter, like they're really very popular in the wintertime.
Yeah.
People get the flu in winter. Flu and cold in the wintertime. So I don't know. I mean, who knows what to believe? What's true, what's not true. But we're just going to wait and see where this goes.
Yeah. Well, when it gets to the first kid in the U.S., then we'll start freaking out.
First kid? You don't think it's hit? You don't think kids have got it already?
I haven't heard. I think it'd be all over the news.
So you think it's all adults only?
Yeah. Well, I'd say nursing homes.
Yeah, the nursing home was a big one. I knew once it hit because I heard that it had been in a nursing home in Washington, and I knew once it was there that there was gonna be deaths because it's old people. You know, they get sick. It's like hard for them to survive that, to fight off something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with their immune system. But you know, I think that's probably the most deaths gonna be old people and young babies. I feel like babies already died. We could look it up. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about all this. It's like it's a very real situation, but then it feels, I don't know, maybe it's overhyped. Like, I don't know.
We'll find out.
I mean, you can't really say that when there's all these things, but then the media has a good way of like making shit more of a, like making people panic more. You know, they have a good way of like, just like they did with Ebola, and then it just disappeared. They don't talk about Ebola no more, but it still exists. Mm-hmm. It's still out there, and it has a 70% death rate. Like, you get Ebola, you're definitely dying. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't even have it. I mean, in Italy, it has a higher death rate.
Dude, it
has a lot of cases though too.
It's gonna be some serious stuff, man. Like,
and in U.S., what? You know, I feel like it just got here. Like there was big cases.
We only have like 197 cases, I think, right now. There's only like 200 cases.
Total cases in the U.S.
Yeah, that's what I saw on the chart. Maybe it's more now, but we're like below 1,000.
But that's, you know, I think once there was one case, it was over because people are in contact all day, every day. So I think everyone.
And that there's multiple cases happening in different locations.
Yeah, and it's spreading exponentially. Like it's an exponential growth. So it's only a matter of time, you know. Yeah, but.
Yeah, it's gonna be a watch list. Where have you been? Who have you touched?
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of deal. Everyone's gonna know your life. Be like, I've been to a strip club. Oops. That would be the worst. It would be like that whole man.
You have to like confess it, like, oh, and then dang, and then all the strippers have corona.
And then all the people in the club who got a lap dance have corona.
Then you gotta like explain that to your wife, like,
I got corona from the stripper.
You get a lot of guys are gonna get in trouble, man. Yeah, dang, yeah, that.
I'm pretty sure that dead body's still up in Hard Rock Cafe is gonna get corona too.
Hard Rock Cafe.
Yeah, it collapsed. Do you remember it collapsed?
Oh yeah, that's
There's
right.
still a body up in there. They haven't even gotten it down.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not lying.
That's nasty.
They don't know how to get it down, and the families are.
I
Like,
see that building. It's all crumbled up and shit. In New Orleans, there's like a building that was being, what do you say, demolished or something? They were taking it.
well,
They're trying to take the building down, right?
No, they were building it, and then it collapsed on people.
Oh, they were actually adding to trying to fix the building and build.
Build onto it, and it collapsed on all the workers, and then they tried to blow it up so it would come down.
Yeah, that's that.
Blew it up and messed up, so then
It's still standing. It's still there.
like half of it's standing, half of it came down properly, and half of it got even worse.
Yeah, so it's just there. I saw it the other day. I was like, yo, the building's still there.
Yeah.
Well, forget all the depressing stuff. Because I don't know what's going to go on with the coronavirus. We could talk about...
Well, it's gonna be funny when the video comes out. It'll be like, if it was mass problem,
Yeah,
it would
like,
be like a
holy
historical
shit.
video.
Yeah.
If not, they're gonna be like, these motherfuckers were up on some shit.
They be plotting on me. They be plotting on me. Yeah. They be plotting on me. Hey. She in love with singing, she don't need a preacher. Says she just want the money, I could be a teacher. But if you fall in love, I would never need her.